we do want to begin with this breaking news just coming in of a deadly school bus accident in western Illinois. State police say 5 people were killed, including 3 children, when the school bus crossed over the yellow line and then slammed into a semi-truck. Both the bus and the truck burst into flames, killing everyone on board both vehicles. CBS's Roxana Saberi is going to start us off tonight with the tragic details.
Semi has hit a school bus. One of the vehicles is on fire.
Charred and twisted metal is all that remains of a school bus and semi-truck that collided in Rushville, Illinois this morning.
Preliminary information indicates that the bus was traveling west on Route 24 and for an unknown reason crossed over into the eastbound lanes in front of the semi-truck. Both vehicles became engulfed in flames.
It happened on this stretch of highway in the rural community of Schuyler County, Illinois, about 200 miles southwest of Chicago. Police say the school bus hit the semi-truck, hauling a load of sand.
It's a close-knit family, and when you have loss of lives like this, it's devastating.
All 3 children on the bus and both drivers were killed. The crash comes amid a recent spate of bus accidents. An estimated 108 people were killed in school bus-related crashes across the country in 2021. Just last Wednesday, a service truck ran a red light in Wisconsin, slamming into a school bus and injuring 8 students. And tonight, a school bus crashed into a house in Dorchester, Massachusetts. In today's crash, investigators from the Schuyler Sheriff's Department are now searching for clues on the cause of the collision. Tonight, the city of Rushville is asking people to lower their flags to half-staff. The names of the victims have not yet been released. Nora?
Roxana Saberi, thank you so much. Overseas now to Gaza, with the Muslim holy month of Ramadan now underway and a growing rift between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. At a congressional hearing today on global threats, Avril Haines, the director of national intelligence, warned that the war in Gaza will likely have a generational impact on terrorism. Now, this is the U.S. military today conducted its 7th airdrop of humanitarian aid to the region. CBS's Chris Livesay reports tonight from Jerusalem.
With ceasefire negotiations failing, Israel says it's mobilizing for an offensive on Rafah, a Hamas stronghold, but also a refuge to 1.5 million Palestinians. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is vowing his military will push ahead regardless of concerns from the White House, arguing any friction with the U.S., Israel's biggest ally, emboldens Hamas.
To the extent that Hamas believes that there's daylight between us, that doesn't help.
President Biden has been sharpening his criticism of Netanyahu over the loss of civilian life in Gaza.
He's hurting Israel more than helping Israel by making the rest of the world, it's contrary to what Israel stands for.
Israel insists it will allow a major evacuation of Rafah before the offensive, but hasn't revealed exactly how. This week marks the start of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month, a time of prayer and fasting, but in recent years, violence as well, over Israeli restrictions on accessing Muslim holy sites in Jerusalem.
Muslims are heading to the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. It's been a flashpoint in Ramadan's past, and this year, with the war in Gaza, tensions are boiling.
Palestinians.
Samar Sinaj Lawi is an activist with the Palestinian political party Fatah.
On Ramadan, everybody suddenly will feel that he has a sense of responsibility to act, not only to show solidarity. Suddenly the images that are coming out of Gaza that generated some kind of grief and sorrow will be translated into anger.
Now, hopes for a ceasefire aren't dead. CIA Director Bill Burns was in the region this weekend to negotiate. Now, Israel, the government here in Jerusalem, is insisting Hamas release the dozens of Israeli hostages it's been holding for 5 months. But so far, Nora, Hamas is refusing.
Chris Livesay with that new reporting. Thank you. Now to America Decides 2024 and the race for president. Tonight, there's a shakeup at the Republican National Committee engineered by Donald Trump. CBS News has learned that dozens are being pushed out as the former president's allies and his daughter-in-law take over. Here's CBS's Nancy Cordes with headlines from the campaign trail.
Campaigning in New Hampshire today, President Biden brought up the company his opponent kept this weekend.
He was with Viktor Orban, who talked about democracy being a problem.
Viktor Orban is the authoritarian-leaning leader of Hungary who has cracked down on the judiciary, the press, and LGBTQ+ rights. He drew high praise from Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
He said, this is the way it's going to be, and that's the end of it, right? He's the boss. And you know, he's a great leader, fantastic leader.
Orban later told the Hungarian press that Trump had promised he would not give a penny to Ukraine if elected. The Trump campaign disputes that. They're also fielding questions about Trump's abrupt reversal on TikTok. He now opposes a ban on the Chinese-owned social media site.
It was a meeting that lasted for a few minutes.
In an interview this morning, Trump denied that his change of heart came after meeting with financier Jeff Yass, whose fund has a multi-billion-dollar stake in TikTok's parent company.
I don't think I ever met him before, but he never mentioned TikTok.
In the same interview, Trump suggested he is open to cutting Medicare or Social Security to save money. Biden seized on that in New Hampshire.
I'm never going to allow that to happen. I won't cut Social Security. I won't cut Medicare.
In the wake of his State of the Union address, Biden is hitting battleground states and airing a new ad about his age.
Look, I'm not a young guy. That's no secret. But here's the deal. I understand how to get things done for the American people.
In Rome, Georgia this weekend, Trump called Biden's State of the Union speech an
angry, dark, hate-filled rant.
Then he mocked the president's lifelong stutter.
Mary said, I'm going to bring the country together.
It was not the first time Trump has made fun of a disability or speech disorder. A Biden campaign official said that it shows that Trump is, quote, weak and insecure. It came in the same speech that Trump referred to reporters as criminals. Nora?
Nancy Cordes at the White House, thank you. The powerful winds that howled from Virginia to New England today turned deadly outside the capital of Pennsylvania. A 43-year-old man was killed overnight when the wind blew down a tree, hitting his home. Winds topping 50 miles an hour were recorded at the time. The threat continues tonight across the Northeast. Tonight, an update for you as Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Jamaica, calling an emergency meeting with several Caribbean leaders as the surge in violence in Haiti has that country on the verge of collapse. Over the weekend, the U.S. military evacuated some U.S. embassy workers for safety reasons. The turmoil started last month with these powerful gangs demanding that the prime minister step down. CBS's Manuel Bojorquez has more on the growing crisis.
Haiti is on the brink of collapse. Armed gangs have a stranglehold on the capital, setting fire to police stations and storming prisons to free thousands of inmates. The latest violence led the U.S. to evacuate non-essential personnel from the embassy in Port-au-Prince over the weekend. But it's the Haitian people who are caught in the middle. The situation in the country is critical. People can no longer go about their business, says this man. The gangs are threatening all-out war unless Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry resigns. He is stuck in Puerto Rico after gangs attacked the main airport. Today, Secretary of State Antony Blinken flew to Jamaica for an emergency meeting with leaders from other Caribbean nations. The State Department says it's in touch with Americans trapped in Haiti.
If they're in Haiti, they should leave as soon as it's safe for them to do so.
Henry took over after the assassination of Jovenel Moïse in 2021 and has delayed new elections. The turmoil has displaced 15,000 Haitians over the last week, and nearly 1,200 have been killed and 700 injured since the beginning of the year. Jacqueline Charles covers the Caribbean for the Miami Herald.
What is the life like right now for a normal Haitian family?
There's only a few days of fuel that's left for electricity. Schools are closed. Hospitals have also been overtaken by the gangs who have also done the same with police stations. I mean, people are really just on their own.
For U.S. citizens in Haiti tonight, options to evacuate are limited because major U.S. carriers have suspended flights. If the situation there does not improve, CBS News has learned a full evacuation of the U.S. Embassy is likely. Nora?
Very dangerous. Manny Bojorquez, thank you so much. Well, tonight there are new questions surrounding the health of the Princess of Wales. Kate Middleton's last public event was 2.5 months ago, and except for a few paparazzi-style photos, she hasn't been seen since Christmas. Now a photoshopped image of Princess Catherine and the royal children has the future queen apologizing. CBS's Charlie D'Agata reports.
The controversy started innocently enough, a family photo of the Princess of Wales and the smiling children to mark Mother's Day here in Britain. But then came the kill order from several global news agencies like the Associated Press, saying it appears the photo had been manipulated at source, and apparently not very well. Observers noted more than a dozen inconsistencies: a sleeve that didn't line up with Charlotte's wrist, a skewered zipper on Kate's jacket, and her blurred hand around Louis. Initially, the palace refused to comment, but today the princess tweeted, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph caused." But it's the first official photo since Kate underwent unspecified abdominal surgery nearly 2 months ago. And the doctored image only fueled the tempest of speculation surrounding Catherine's health.
I've never seen anything in all the years I've been doing this job like today.
And is it because so many people want to know what's going on?
I think it's because we haven't really had a situation like this where two very senior members of the royal family are unwell.
The shot was taken by Prince William, seen today at a Commonwealth service, who's been flying solo as the face of the monarchy for weeks. His father, King Charles, undergoing cancer treatment, his wife still recovering from surgery.
Dealing with health-related issues at home, and now scrutiny on the world stage. Tonight, our sources close to the palace called the controversy a storm in a royal teacup. But Nora, that Photoshop fail won't do much to dampen down the speculation around the princess's well-being.
Yeah, so many questions left. Charlie D'Agata, thank you. Officials in Florida are investigating a rare and terrifying encounter with a crocodile that sent a man to the hospital. We've got the details next. A 68-year-old man is recovering after being bitten by a rare crocodile in Florida's Everglades National Park. Officials say the man was trying to swim ashore yesterday afternoon after his boat capsized when he was bitten on the leg. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Wildlife officials are monitoring the American crocodile, which is listed as a threatened species in the U.S. Now to this consumer alert. Airbnb announced a ban today on all indoor security cameras at its rental properties around the world. Hosts now have until the end of April to get rid of any indoor cameras. Now, the outdoor security cameras are still permitted as long as guests know about them before they book. Heart of America is next with the U.S. women's national soccer team back on top.
This portion of the CBS Evening News is sponsored by Ancestry. Discover, preserve, represent.
Finally, tonight's Heart of America with a team that has captured America's heart time and time again. The U.S. women's national soccer team returned to their winning ways after beating powerhouse Brazil last night 1-0 in the finals of the inaugural Women's Gold Cup in San Diego. U.S. captain Lindsey Horan knocked in the game's lone goal. Look at this, with this incredible header just before the half in front of a sellout crowd. Horan said it's been a hard-fought journey.
We've dealt with a lot of different kind of adversity and ups and downs, and so I'm really proud of the way we came out of it and getting a win at the end.
We're proud, too. After an early exit from the 2023 World Cup and a bronze medal at the 2020 Olympics, the U.S. women have their sights set on gold at the Paris Games this summer. Congratulations and good luck to the U.S. women's national soccer team. That's tonight's Heart of America. And that's tonight's CBS Evening News. I'm Nora O'Donnell. Good night.